is not the pushover that the press seems to think he is, and that they're trying to present him as being. He has not been taking his son's calls for some time now. He will not be exploited by his son.
Shocking new developments in the growing war behind the scenes in the British royal family over Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie and Lily's return to the UK next month, with new reports that Prince William is fuming over the fact that King Charles is, in his view, bending over backwards for the duplicitous duo. This reporting in Vanity Fair overnight via Katie Nicholl, their royal editor, who says the UK visit next month is a source of deep frustration for Wills, and he's very annoyed about it. Prince William will not see Prince Harry and Meghan Markle when they return to the United Kingdom next month, Nicholl reports. While King Charles is said to be clearing his schedule to see grandchildren Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, whom he has not seen in 4 years, relations between his sons remain at an all-time low. According to recent reports, Charles has offered to provide the Duke and Duchess of Sussex with royal accommodations and to fund the family's security arrangements while they are in the UK. Now, sources close to William say the fact that the king is, quote, bending over backwards to facilitate Harry's trip to the UK has caused friction between Charles and his eldest son. While Palisades deny any fallout between Charles and William, it is understood that William has made his feelings about any reconciliation clear to his father. William is known to hold a grudge, and more than that, he cannot forgive his brother for what Harry has put his family through, one source tells Vanity Fair. According to a well-placed source, William believes his brother crossed a line in both his 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey and his autobiography Spare, in which he shared, among other things, intimate details about his and Meghan's relationship with Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales. Though Harry will be in the UK to promote the Invictus Games, which take place in Birmingham in July 2027, sources close to him and Meghan have confirmed, this is confirmation to Vanity Fair, that she and their 2 children will be travelling along with him. Harry will use the opportunity to introduce Archie, Lily, to both sides of his family. So this is interesting because it's bringing in the Spencers and Earl Spencer, who we know has shut down all thought for 2 days. Harry wants to bring the kids to see his family, not just the Windsors, but the Spencers too. He wants to spend time with the wider family. This has been on the cards for some time. Next year would have been the most obvious time when the Invictus Games takes place in Birmingham, but for whatever reason, it is happening this summer. Harry is and has for some time been very keen to have the kids come over to the UK. There's been a feeling of such sadness that he's not been able to bring them to the UK. Well, that was the situation he created, wasn't it? While Harry has told friends that he cannot wait to bring his family back, there will be no olive branch meeting with William and Kate. William won't be seeing his brother. I suspect he will make sure he's miles away when Harry visits to avoid any awkward encounters, a source says. Harry has tried to make contact repeatedly, but William won't take his calls. He is not minded to a reconciliation at all. And the fact that his father is bending over backwards to make Harry's visit happen has become the source of deep irritation for William. Sources close to William say he feels his father is making a mistake by welcoming Harry back into the fold. William is known to hold a grudge, whereas Charles wants peace, a family friend said. They come to the Harry situation from different perspectives. Charles is of the view that one must forgive and move on. William won't do that. Not yet. And maybe never. Lady Colin Campbell is with me now. Lady C, oh, you're looking absolutely glorious in this UK heatwave. I love it. Beautiful backdrop too. But Lady C, let's come to this breaking news. Firstly, can you blame William at all for constantly blanking Harry's calls? Because I can't. Like, why would he pick up? He made his position clear. Surely Harry just needs to take the message and stop stalking William on his phone. If you value the whole truth and nothing but the truth on these royal stories, make sure you subscribe to Outspoken right now. It allows me to work outside of the MSM and the Royal Rota.
Well, I think Williams made the absolutely correct decision. As I said within my own family when a member was treacherous, I said treachery is not an accident. It's a character flaw, and it behooves you to remember that. And William does. And I think, though, Dan, that some of this is slightly askew because I think the press are attributing motives and feelings to both Charles and William that actually are falling shy of the reality of the situation as I understand it to be.
So talk to me about what your understanding is, lady.
Well, Ch- Charles is not the pushover that the press seems to think he is and that they're trying to present him as being. He has not been taking his son's calls for some time now. He will not he will not be exploited by his son. Uh, also the claim that Charles is paying for Harry's security, it flies in the face of everything that Ravek and the government has ever said, which is that no individual in this country is permitted to pay for security. That includes the king. So how all of a sudden is Charles paying for Harry's security? He's not paying for Harry's security. Harry's security is being paid for under the standard arrangements that were in place when he left. He's given his month's notice. He has been assessed. The situation has been assessed, and the security bill is going to be picked up by the state. So where that's coming from, I would love to know. That's one of the inaccuracies that slightly disturb me. And the other one is that somehow Charles is embracing Harry. Charles is not embracing Harry. The situation is not quite as simplistic as the mainstream media would like to make it out to be. I get why they do it, because it's great copy, it's great content, it provides coverage, conflict, etc. But I think my understanding is that there's a lot more agreement between the king and William than that they are being given credit for. Of course, it plays well that there is a conflict, but there's a far less of a conflict. They are basically in agreement, which is that Harry needs to be blocked and contained. It's just that, do you block him totally, or do you allow him to have the latitude that he has already been granted, which was because, let's remember, Harry, when he left under the understanding that when he came back, if he gave a month's notice, he could be housed in one of the royal palaces, usually Buckingham Palace or St. James's Palace. None of that has changed. So I don't know where a lot of this is coming from. Well, I do know where it's coming from. But it's a rhetorical thing to say, I don't know where it's coming from. That's my take on it. Sorry. It doesn't agree with what other people are saying.
No. I think it's very interesting, Lady C. I mean, the first thing that's interesting, of course, is that if Charles is also not taking Harry's calls and William is also rejecting the calls, it does suggest that they remain united in some way on Harry. Because remember, I reported years and years ago that both William and Charles had agreed mutually that they would never be in a room on their own with Harry again, because they couldn't trust that he wouldn't take out of context what was said and perhaps make false allegations. So that's very good to hear that it's not just William who is rejecting Harry's phone calls, it's also Charles who is doing so. You're also, of course, completely right to point out that it's Harry who has massively capitulated here. Nothing has changed in terms of the security arrangements or the offer to stay at royal palaces. Those offers have existed previously. So Harry is the one who, in Tom Bower's words, is crawling back. All of that is accurate. I would argue, Lady C, the area though where there is a fault line is that William doesn't believe there is anything to be gained in terms of a face-to-face meeting. And for Charles, and I think emotionally you can appreciate it's a slightly different situation. These are his grandchildren. He does have terminal cancer, although the treatment seems to be going well. And so he is minded to want to meet the children. And that does seem to be, I don't know if you agree with me, but that seems to be the fundamental difference in position between William and Charles. William does not believe there should be any meetings whatsoever, Lady C, because that provides a risk to the institution and the monarchy in the future, because William knows full well that Harry and Meghan will try and commercialise that meeting. Charles might still know that, but it's not going to change his mind because he believes he should have a relationship with his grandchildren.
And well, also, he is Harry's father, and he has to face his conscience and his maker, and he has to do what he considers to be the right thing. And let us remember, Charles's cancer treatment could work very well for the next 15 years, and it could stop working in 6 weeks. And he knows that that's the reality. There's no
Every moment
guarantee.
is precious.
Well, yeah, there is no guarantee of an elongated lifespan. Yeah. So he is aware of that. There is a sword of Damocles hanging over his head, and he's not stupid. He's aware of that. And but he is not allowing Harry to make hay while the sun shines and take advantage. And if he sees Harry, and if he sees the children, it's my understanding is it's going to be in very limited, constricted terms. In much the same way that at the last meeting, the one that was supposed to be 45 minutes and lasted 12 minutes, he arrived, he was kept waiting, he was ushered out. He then had no blue lights, so he was late for his next meeting. I don't remember where. So the same degree of restriction will apply if there is a meeting. And there is a lot of speculation as to whether there will be a meeting or not. And it's quite possible there won't be a meeting, but it's also equally possible that there will be a meeting. And
But your
Charles,
point is don't take a meeting as a suggestion that Charles has completely capitulated to Harry, because
that's
you're
right,
saying indeed he has not.
absolutely hasn't. And basically, he and William are fighting the same corner. They're simply fighting it from slightly different perspectives. Their roles are different. Charles is a father, William is a brother. I mean, I actually think William is 110% right. But it doesn't alter the fact that I also understand where Charles is coming from. And if I were in Charles's position, I have to tell you, I would be pretty much doing the same thing. What will be interesting to see is whether Charles does as the late Queen did and refuses to have any photographs taken with those children, if indeed he meets them.
And certainly, Lady C, you would imagine at least he wouldn't, or you would hope at least he wouldn't agree to a photograph with Meghan.
Well, if he does, it would be a grave error of judgment. But I see where Charles also has he agrees with some of his advisors that the best case scenario in the Harry and Meghan situation is, now that they have tried and failed, and there is really nothing else left for them to do except mend fences, because she's never going to make the billions she wanted to make. I mean, she might meet some stupid billionaire, but putting that aside,
Unlikely these days.
well, there might be somebody who's an imbecile who inherited the money, or some nerd who's invented something and who is totally inept socially, which basically she's as well. So they would share that in common as well. But I mean, she's not in a position to do a Jackie. No billionaire is ever going to want her. No respectable man. She's not arm candy. She is an advertisement of toxicity. So no decent man is ever going to want her. So she has a strong incentive to stay with Harry. And that means that basically in the longer term, they are going to be a problem that needs to be managed. Now, Meghan has never been manageable. I came to write my book on them because people got in touch with me because they were having trouble managing Meghan. This was in 2019, I think, when she was still in the royal family and she was trying to cut deals behind the scenes, and she was abusing people, and she was throwing her weight around, and Harry was backing her up and throwing his weight around on her behalf as well. And they thought if she had a shot across her bow, which said basically, you need to start to understand that you have to have respect for this institution and you can't exploit it. I mean, you're not a whore in a convent setting yourself up as the chief madam. This is a convent and it's supposed to be pure. And so, if you're going to be whoring, please, you chose the wrong venue. And I mean, that was basically how I came to write the book. Well, of course, Meghan has proven to be unmanageable, but failure will make her more manageable, because Meghan was perfectly manageable up to a point when she was hooking and crooking her way up the social ladder. She knew exactly what to play and how to play it to present herself as something she wasn't. It's once she nabbed Harry and realized that Harry was in the bag that she gave up all pretense of being cooperative and decent and a nice person. And she just became the raw monster that she has revealed herself to be.